Yo, what's up, guys? This is Karma64. How are you guys doing today? And I'm back with another video. And for today's video, I'm gonna be talking about does being on Power Rangers ruin your career? That's gonna be the main topic of this video. So this was actually something that I've been thinking for like almost like a long time now. And so because now I'm a huge Power Rangers fan. I think I have made that clear. I have done some Power Rangers videos before, but I am a huge Power Rangers fan. I have been for a long time, since I was my kid. First, my brother was into it, then and I got into it as well. We both got into it simultaneously, at the same time, and then eventually later on, he grew out of it during SPD, but I still remain a fan. SPD, the season that takes place in this year, fun fact. And how come we're still not living with aliens? But yeah, I am still a Power Rangers fan at heart. I always have been, always will be, and also a Super Sentai fan, even though mostly Power Rangers, because it's grew more attachment to that. But the Super Sentai is good in its own way as well. I have this guy here with me today. Yeah. So now we can get on with the meet and greet of this video. I'll put him right here so you guys can somewhat see him too. So we can get on the meet and greet of this video. Does being on Power Rangers really ruin your career? So the thing is, guys, with Power Rangers, despite the fact that Power Rangers has a long and loyal fan base, a strong fan base at that at best, Power Rangers is still a franchise that often, very times, gets looked down at many times, because some people look at it like a dumb, cheesy kids show. They think the concept's ridiculous, and some people, being aware that it's basically based on the Japanese franchise, where they just take the Japanese footage, the fight scenes, stuff like that, and just mix it with American footage. But yeah, I think that's a dumb, silly concept. But honestly, it does kind of work somewhat. And honestly, I've been a fan of that concept. Aside from Power Rangers, other shows been like that. VR Troopers, Beetleborgs, Mask Rider, Kamen Rider, Dragonite, Superhuman, Samurai, Cyber Squad. I've always been a fan of those type of shows, and they're basically called American Tokusatsu adaptations, and I've been a huge fan of those. I mean, they were huge back in the '90s. Power Rangers was the first I started, and then others followed. And it's all started in the '90s, and I guess nowadays it's kind of quickly, slowly died off, which is a bummer. And I do hope maybe someday we see it again. That's just me. I just think it'd be cool to see. I'm still down for another Kamen Rider adaptation, even though some people's like, "Oh, there's no need. We don't need to adapt anymore." But yes, part of me still does want to see it adapted. I think it will be sick, cool. I mean, it's too bad Kamen Rider never had that kind of success over here in America that Super Sentai has. Super Sentai being known here as Power Rangers, and Kamen Rider unfortunately never got the success. There have been like unfortunately two attempts, but they both failed. Saban's Mask Rider failed because it was bad, and Matt, Kamen Rider, Dragonite just failed because it just didn't have that much promotion of viewerships. But anyways, yeah, hopefully we do get to see more American Tokusatsu adaptations make a comeback. I'll be dying to see that. So yeah, now we can get on to Power Rangers. Like, does being on this franchise, yeah, like I said before, some people look at Power Rangers like a silly kids franchise, but Power Rangers does have a lot of heart to it. And if you watch any of the later seasons, some of the later seasons, Time Force and RPM, where they become more darker, and even some of these seasons become more serious, like Ninja Storm, Down Thunder, SPD. I think Ninja Storm, Down Thunder, and SPD are great trio seasons in the Disney era. And I think In Space, Lost Galaxy, and Lightspeed Rescue are a great trio in the Saban era. Or if you want to do Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, and Time Force as a trio, I think they make a great trio as well. And yeah, sure, Power Rangers does have some wooden acting, but to be honest, the Disney seasons they actually have some outstanding acting, for sure. So Power Rangers, the acting can be a bit hit or miss sometimes, but at times it does have some good point. But let's be honest, guys. Sometimes acting in general it can be a bit wooden. It depends on how you look at it. But Power Rangers may not be best like the king when it comes to acting, best acting, but it is what it is. And like yeah, the acting of Neil Sabana and onward is kind of meh. I don't like the acting in Samurai. I think it's really bad. Sorry to anyone who likes Samurai and Megaforce. Don't get me started on Megaforce. Troy. But anyways, now we can talk about does being in Power Rangers really ruin your career? And to be honest, I don't really think so. Because now the thing is with Power Rangers, like with actors, people who appear on Power Rangers, before for the longest time, I always thought that me and my brother thought this as well. Like, if a person who stars on Power Rangers, they do Power Rangers, and after that they don't do anything else, or we don't ever see them ever again. Which is actually not true. I mean, some of them actually do some stuff actually later on, after Power Rangers, or even before Power Rangers. Like for example, like here's the thing, like with most of the actors from the Saban era, some people think after they did Power Rangers, we never saw them in anything else, but we actually did get to see a few of them in other projects. Amy Jo Johnson, she gone on to have a successful career. Johnny Young Boss, he got into voice acting, and he's huge in the anime voice acting community. And who else? Now who else? Well, Aaron, who played Jen, the Pink Time Force Ranger on Power Rangers Time Force, she actually went on to have a very successful career. And also, fun fact, she did make a guest appearance on the Power Rangers Playback YouTube channel on the live stream. And I actually got to ask her a question. And I asked her what was it like meeting Jennifer Love Hewitt, because she was on, she made a guest appearance. I think she made a guest appearance, or she was like a regular or a minor character on the show Ghost Whisperer. And she said that, and she answered the question. She said, "Oh, Jennifer Love Hewitt was like a sweetheart," and she actually still keeps in touch with her. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see Power Rangers actors meet huge name celebrities, A-list actors. That's cool to see. And there are some others. And there are some other actors who have had other success careers. I mean, Archie Cow, who plays Kai from Lost Galaxy. Apparently, he was in a popular show. I forgot the name of it. CIA or EA or something. I don't know. So, but Power Rangers actors, even though some of them may not do big stuff anymore, I mean, sure, after they do Power Rangers, that doesn't mean they stop acting. I mean, they do continue acting. They do other projects, but some of them are just like smaller projects or less known projects that not many people know of. I mean, Christopher Cameron Lee, who played Andros from In Space, he was, he was in this show on that was on the CW. Back then, when it was called the WB. It was a short-lived show on the WB called Safe Harbor. I think it was somewhat a Seventh Heaven inspired like show. Yeah, Orlando Brown was in that, and also Sean C.W. Johnson. He was also in that show too. He played. I think he played in a couple episodes, two episodes I think. But also, fun fact, that's how Sean C.W. Johnson, he pretty much knew Christopher Cameron Lee from that show, and I think Christopher Cameron Lee told him, convinced him to audition for Power Rangers. That's how he got the roles to Lightspeed Ranger and Lightspeed Rescue. And speaking of Lightspeed Rescue, Joel, the actor who plays Joel, he was actually in an Eddie Murphy movie, Dreamgirls. I think that's the name of it, Dreamgirls. I think he had a small role in it. I don't know. So yeah, but so most of the actors from the Saban seasons, from the Saban seasons, from Mighty Morphin up to Wild Force, or Mighty Morphin up to Time Force. I'm gonna say Wild Force because Saban, it was still the production team that worked on Wild Force. And I think they said Wild Force was actually finished before Disney bought the franchise, before they got bought out. That's from what I heard. So I think Wild Force is still the Saban season. So most of the actors from that appeared from Power Rangers from Mighty Morphin Power the Wild Force, and they actually have done some stuff. I mean, sure, maybe it's not huge, well-known stuff, but it's probably minor stuff. But then again, and like the actor that plays Danny, I think he was in the episode of Agents of Shield. The guy that played Danny from Wild Force, the Black Ranger, I think he was in an episode of Agents of Shield. I could be wrong. And Ricardo Virginia Jr., who is pretty much probably shadow banned from the fandom because of allegedly killing his roommate back in 2015. Well, he did do some other stuff. And Jessica Rae, I think, who played Alyssa, I think she was in an episode of How I Met Your Mother. I could be wrong. But also, I forgot Jason Faunt, who played Wes from Time Force. He's a great guy from what I've seen of him online on social media and such, and interviews. He actually did do some stuff. He did do some commercials, and I think he did other projects. So he had an outstanding career. So yeah, Power Rangers actors, from the Saban era, they actually do seem to have a few of them do have some successful careers. Unfortunately, Jason David Frank, I don't think he ever had a successful career aside from just Power Rangers, and I think that was one of the reasons why he was depressed, because he realized he didn't have a career after Power Rangers. That's from what I heard. I think it was mentioned in that the Dark Side of Power Rangers episode. So yeah. Now I guess we can get on with the actors from the Disney era. Now, to be honest, there are some actors from the Disney era who are actually successful. Now I think the actors from Disney era, I'll say will have to be like Brandon J. McLaurin, who plays Jack from SPD. He has had a few successful roles. He was actually in the movie She's the Man with Channing Tatum and Amanda Bynes. So yeah, he got to meet two big name actors. Well, Channing Tatum, he wasn't a huge name actor at the time. She's the Man was actually the movie that kind of launched his career, and it's actually revealed that Amanda Bynes was actually the reason why he got the part, because she vouched for him, and Channing Tatum actually thanks Amanda Bynes for launching his career. And I think that was kind of nice of her. So Amanda Bynes, I think she's probably normal now. It's back to normal. I know she went through a phase where she was going crazy and stuff like that, but I think she's back to normal now. I could be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, Brendan J. McLaurin, he was in that movie. But also, he was also, before he did Power Rangers, he was in the Scooby-Doo movie, Scooby-Doo 2: Monsters Unleashed, and he only had a minor role. He was just like, he played like one of Shaggy's fans. Yeah, I was actually surprised to see him in that movie, and also he appears in the final scene of the movie where the characters are all dancing and stuff like that. And he had, and Brandon J. McLaurin, he had other later on projects. After Power Rangers, he was on the short-lived Canadian show The Best Years, which is basically somewhat a Degrassi-inspired show, basically Degrassi but in college. And I do remember watching that on the end. I was actually surprised to see him on that show. And then also other actors, apparently now Samuel Benta, whose name is definitely mud in the fandom because of what happened back in the first Power Morphicon back in 2007, where he allegedly was said to steal a banner that was supposed to be given to charity, but he came up back in 2020. He came up with a video saying, "Oh, he didn't steal the banner. He meant to get it signed, and then he left it down somewhere, and then someone else took it." But then later on, eventually, there were some people that were giving him, they were starting to forgive him, and then some people were like, "No, I don't forgive you, dude. You should just come out and say something earlier." Me, I was kind of mixed about it. I wasn't like one of those people like right away, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I showed you all this hate for all these years." Or I wasn't those people that "Oh, you're guilty, man. You're lying. Why took you so long to come up with this video?" But some people, Yeah, so I just didn't know what to think at first. I mean, I almost did almost begin to forgive him, but I wasn't too sure on it. But the reason why I was thinking about forgiving him because of the whole Me Too going on, because everybody getting Me Too and being accused of things that they didn't do. But then later on, he eventually kind of took the video down. He privated it. I do remember saving the video, so he privated it. And now the video is gone, and now some people think, yeah, he's probably guilty. We might not never know. Who knows? But fun fact, spoiler alert, I am going to talk about that later on in the video because I have a juicy video coming out later where I'm talking about Power Rangers actors who have been under controversy over the years. So you can be on the lookout for that. But now Samuel Benta, yeah, I have heard he has done some stuff. I think it was small budget stuff, like from his country, London, I think. That's just one thing. Well, I do remember seeing like a demo reel of him on YouTube. Those demo videos were showcasing an actor and the roles of actors and their acting and stuff like that. So, yeah, So Samuel Benta, it looks like he has done some stuff. Now, also, other successful actors are now Anna Hutchins, who plays Lily from Jung Fury, gorgeous looking woman. She was in the movie Cabin in the Woods with Chris Hemsworth, who was also on the show with the actor that plays Casey in Jung Fury. Home and Away, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, so Thor got to meet 2 Jung Fury Rangers. Pretty cool. So now, she was in that movie, and I think that movie was filmed in 2008, but wasn't released until 2012. Cabin in the Woods. So, that was just one huge big movie she was in. Now, other actors who were actually successful, some of the cast members from RPM, some of them have actually gone on to do very successful stuff. Eka Darville, who plays Scott, he's actually has some successful roles. He was in The Vampire Diaries, I think. And he was also in Jessica Jones, which is actually one of his successful roles, I think. So, Eka Darville, he had a very successful career. And I think he's done some other stuff. Now, another successful RPM actor is Rose McIver. Gorgeous woman. Rose McIver, basically, she was in iZombie and a couple other stuff. And also, she was also in a Mark Wahlberg movie. Mark Wahlberg, who I met back in 2013. So yeah, I forgot the name of the movie. I think it's called The Missing Bones or something. I was actually surprised to see her. Yeah, she's another Power Ranger actress who met a famous A-list celebrity, you know. Power Ranger actors meet A-list celebrities is pretty cool, like, you know. So, like, you know, I'm not sure, like, you know, the guy who plays Casey and Anna, who played Lily from Jung Fury, they met Chris Hemsworth, but now that was actually before Chris Hemsworth before he was big, before he played Thor, before he became an A-list actor. So yeah, some of the actors have actually had successful roles and careers. And now there have been some Power Ranger actors that actually appeared in Disney Channel original movies. Kevin Danier, I can't pronounce his last name, but who plays Ethan from Dino Thunder. He was in the Disney Channel original movie True Confessions, which had Shia LaBeouf. So yeah, he got to meet Shia LaBeouf when Shia LaBeouf was still somewhat not really big as he was now. And also Emma Lahana, who I forgot is also a huge name actor, I think, well, who has a successful career because she was on Cloak and Dagger. And also, yeah, she was in the Disney Channel original movie You Wish, which had the guy who played Even Stevens, you know, Shia LaBeouf's best friend in that show. So yeah, and also which had Flynn, the guy actor who played Flynn before he did RPM. And he was also in the Jacqueline's Kirby commercial. Jacqueline's Kirby, you know, messing with Sasquatch, those commercials. He was in one of those. So yeah, and there have been some other Power Rangers actors. And Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior, is basically notorious for having a lot of Power Ranger actors or actors who will eventually start with Power Rangers. Definitely. I think Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior is... I know the YouTuber by the name The Disney Brain, he did a video of Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior. and talking about how that movie is a better Power Rangers Samurai. And I will agree because that movie does a better job, showing, I think Wendy Wu is showing like Japanese material or something. I don't know, but I think it does some way better presenting the culture than Samurai does, the Asian culture than Samurai freaking does. Yeah, I bet if Disney did adapt Shin Kinger back in 2010, they probably would have done a great job. I pretty much think they would. That's just what I think. So yeah, some Power Rangers actors have appeared in some Disney Channel original movies, but the Disney Channel original movies, they haven't been. I mean, some of them are popular, but I don't think all of them are hugely that popular. I mean, like well known that much. At least that's what I think. So yeah, and also the guy who played Dominic from Jungle Fury, I think he appeared in an episode of Jessica Jones. So yeah, some Power Rangers actors are actually a part of the MCU now. So yeah, so most of the actors from the Disney era, we haven't really saw some of them in later projects, or maybe some of them did do projects that we just not know of. But I think one of the reasons why we don't know why some of them we don't see some of them in much projects or anything else, so not aware of what other projects they've been in, because most of the actors from the Disney era are basically from New Zealand, basically. Well, not all of them, most of them. Well, some of them were from Canada, which I actually found out later on. The guy who played Blake from Ninja Storm, which is actually on, I think I have on the Power Rangers channel on the Pluto TV. He's from Canada. Dino Thunder, Jeffrey Peraza, who plays Trent, and Kevin, who played Ethan. They're both from Canada. SPD, the main five, the actors that played the main five, I think they're from Canada. Well, Monica May. Oh yeah, Monica May, who played Z. I hear she's from Florida, so I don't know. Maybe she is from Canada. I don't know. So yeah, and some of them. So maybe some of them probably did do other projects, but that was only released in Canada. Or maybe now, from what I hear, some of them who used to live in Canada, or used to, and some of the actors from New Zealand actually did move to the United States, like the actor that plays RJ, and he has done some other stuff. He was in like an episode of What I Like About You with Amanda Bynes. I think he did that before he got the role as RJ from Jungle Fury. Well, I did hear he did audition for Operation Overdrive, but I think he auditioned for Tyzone but didn't get the part. So yeah, so some of the actors from the Disney era, the fact that some of them, the majority of them were from New Zealand and some were from Canada, so they probably did projects that were related to their country. Like Paul Makasiva and Sally Martin, they both did continue acting, but the projects they were appearing were basically projects found only in New Zealand only because they're from New Zealand. I'll be honest, guys. I had no idea that Power Rangers was filming in New Zealand from Ninja Storm and onward. I have no idea most of the actors were from New Zealand. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to know what you think about when you think about certain stuff. So some of the Disney actors, they do certain projects later on. And now for the Neil Saban era and going into Hasbro era, yeah, I think some actors, I don't know. Well, some of them, like from Samurai and all, I think all of them were American. Well, at least some of them were probably from a different country. Well, I know the actor that plays James, who plays Jace from Power Rangers, Dino Charge, the Black Ranger. I think he's from New Zealand, so yeah, maybe some actors from the Neil Saban era, or maybe some of them are from another country or from Canada. I don't know, but I think the majority of them are American. And I guess we did saw some of them do some things later on. Now, Hector David Jr., another name who's pretty much kind of mud at this race with the Power Rangers fandom. He was in a movie with Britt Robinson, a Christmas movie. Britt Robinson was on the episode of Power Rangers Time Force about Trip. It was called Unity Trip. She was the little girl that dressed up as the Pink Ranger. So yeah, we get to see some Power Rangers actors do some stuff later on. The guy who plays Skyler, who played Antonio from Samurai, uh, he was in Glee, which had Grant Gustin, who played the Flash. Grant Gustin played one of the rivals of some of the characters, main characters. So yeah, I haven't seen Glee that much. He was one of the reasons why I checked out Glee, and also Glee also have another CW DC actor, the actress that played Supergirl. Yeah, I forgot her name, Melissa something. And also, fun fact is, Glee had the actor Corey, who passed away back in 2013. I forgot his last name or something. He passed away back in 2013. It was sad. But fun fact is, speaking of him, in Power Rangers, he actually did audition for Jack, the Red Ranger. Auditioned for Power Rangers 3D. He auditioned for Jack. Unfortunately, he didn't get the role, but he too was from Canada, like some of the actors from SVD. So I think maybe Glee takes place in Canada. I don't know. So the point is, the question remains now: does Power Ranger actors? Well, hold on, like the Hasbro era and like stuff like I don't know if we saw some of the actors do other stuff, like some of the actors from the Hasbro era, Neil Saban era, some of the other actors. Maybe they probably did do some projects after Power Rangers. I'm not aware. I don't know. And maybe some of them have done some projects before being on Power Rangers. Or maybe small budget stuff, Who knows? But yeah. So now we can get on with the ultimate question. Does being on Power Rangers really ruin your career? Does it get you like typecast or maybe blacklist or have people like not want to hire you or be skeptical about casting you, like when you do auditions and stuff like that? To be honest, guys, I'm gonna say no, not really. I don't think Power Rangers has too much with what an actor does with their career or ruining an actor's career. I don't think so because there are some Power Rangers actors that have very successful careers after the franchise. Heck, even Bryan Cranston, I forgot to mention him. He started off in Power Rangers and he ended up having a successful career. And also Amy Adams, who actually auditioned for and got the part as Dana Mitchell, the Pink Ranger from White Rescue, but she eventually had to drop out because her agent told her that it would ruin her career. And then Allison, the actress who ended up playing Dana, the blonde-haired chick, gorgeous woman by the way, she ended up booking the part. And I don't think it ruined her career. Sure, I don't think we've seen her done anything else, but I don't think her career was affected after Power Rangers. I could be wrong. I don't know. Yeah, and she is, like I said, gorgeous woman, and she dyed her hair redhead, but she's a redhead now, but still a gorgeous woman nonetheless. So yeah, I don't think Power Rangers really like ruins a person's career. Because I still think, you can have a very successful career no matter what project you do. It just kind of mostly depends. Like if you think like you can continue acting, like the person, if they do a project, that's not going to ruin their career. The person themselves can choose like if they want to continue acting, if they want to continue with their acting career and like move forward and stuff like that. I don't think there people are gonna be like, oh, this person used to be on Power Rangers. Yeah, we're not gonna hire you. You were on that like silly TV show that was for kids. So yeah, we won't hire you. I don't think it's gonna work like that because I think deep down inside, if you have strong acting capabilities and you want to push yourself to the limits, you can do something like that. Because there have been many actors that start off on kids shows, not many people know about, or some people thought were silly and stuff. And eventually they became big using big names later on, like Shia LaBeouf from Even Stevens, Frankie Muniz from Malcolm in the Middle, Emma Roberts from Unfabulous. Those are actors that gone on to have successful careers after the show that made them famous ended. And there have been plenty others. I figured that I always thought that Power Rangers was probably going to be that same way for certain actors. It actually turned out did for some actors. Amy Jo Johnson, Johnny Young Boss, Aaron June, I forgot, can't pronounce the last name, and a couple others. So, you know, and sure, some Power Rangers actors, you know, we do get to see some of them do some other projects after or even before Power Rangers. Like, you know, the guy that played Lake, he was in the short-lived show High Ground, which had Hayden Christensen in, and he and Hayden Christensen were actually roommates in it, from what I heard. Yeah, that is interesting. You know, yeah, he met Hayden Christensen before Hayden Christensen was even a huge name. And also, a fun fact is Matt Austin, who played Bridge from SPD, I think he met Alan Cumming. He took a picture of him. I saw it on IMDb back in the mid 2000s, 2006, when I was learning about IMDb and looking up actors and stuff just like that. So yeah, you know, Power Rangers actors meeting the A-list celebrities is always a fun thing to do. Heck, you know, the guy Adam who played Hunter from Ninja Storm met Daniel Radcliffe, who most famously known for playing Harry Potter. Yeah, and then they did like a short-lived video. I saw it on a Facebook group. It's pretty cool. So yeah, you know, Power Rangers actors. There have been some Power Rangers actors who have actually had successful careers after their season ended, and maybe they do appear in other projects. We just need to look closely, and you just don't know. Heck, Amy Jo Johnson was in a Disney movie, Susie Q. I think that's the name of it. So yeah, Power Rangers actors. I don't think being on Power Rangers really ruins your career. It mostly depends on your acting capability, and that you feel like you continue acting. And if you want to push your acting career forward, like if you want to continue to pursue it and stuff like that. That's just what I think. You know, Johnny Young Boss, great guy. I met him. He has a successful career, and many others do. You know, Brandon J. McLaurin, Aaron, and Rose MacGyver, and I think Hannah as well, maybe, and Echo Darville, and many even Bryan Cranston. You know, before he did Malcolm in the Middle and Breaking Bad, he was on Power Rangers. He voiced some monsters, even though he pretty much doesn't want to be associated with the franchise, and he's probably embarrassed to be a part of it. But you know, Power Rangers, despite the fact that it gets looked on as a cheesy kids show that nothing you can take serious, at least it still has a dedicated fan base, and it does have potential to be serious, dark, and stuff like that, if given the right direction, and if people give it a chance. That's all that I think I can say about that. So yeah, being on Power Rangers doesn't really ruin your career. You can still have a successful career. It just mostly depends. So you guys can let me know what you guys think. That'll be it for this video. What do you guys think? Do you think being on Power Rangers really ruins a person's career, and or not really? Now there's this YouTuber that did made a video something similar to this. I'm gonna leave a link to it in the section below. It's called Power Rangers Conspiracies. I think that's his name, or Mighty Morphin Conspiracy. Power Rangers Conspiracy. Sorry, I can't say his name right. But yeah, I'll try to see if I can leave that video, link to that video down below. So check it out. So yeah, like I said, that's it for this video. I'm gonna have an upcoming video coming out soon called Power Ranger actors involved in controversies, and I'll be having that. That's gonna be a very juicy video and interesting thing to look at, and you can check it out. Oh, also forgot, Lost Mojo even has a video about Power Rangers actors who are very successful, have a very successful career. And of course, and I think there are other videos on it. There is this one I've been meaning to check out, so I forgot to mention that. So yeah, this is Comrade64, signing out. I'll see you guys later. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and all that jazz. And I have more videos coming up in the future. See you later, guys. Peace out. One more thing. May the power protect you. See ya.